You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. Welcome, everybody. Yellow King kicking things off with a tier 1 sub for 53 months. Can you believe that? It deserves a round of applause. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Michael Hassler. Mouselander. Welcome, everybody. Yes, join the YouTubes. Folks, we have quite the good amount of announcements to make, or rather one big one. June 10th, folks, is going to be the launch of a new project, a new endeavor, if you will. It is called This Space, and lots of fantastic folks are going to be a part of this space. And it's definitely something that you should be keeping an eye out. It launches June 10th. That's about 2 weeks from now. About 2 weeks from now, exactly. And there's going to be a lot of great people involved in this. The great Benjamin Dixon, Jeff Waldorf, Matt from the Letter Hack, among others. Moanep, welcome. So if you want to start doing all the things for New Space, you can. It's at this space. I'm going to play the video in just a moment, but I'm also going to make the same announcement all throughout until the launch date, because guess what? I'm also going to be a part of this space. This space is going to be the space, okay? Before we get started, folks, the usual disclaimers. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. You guys are what makes this channel go. I appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're on the YouTube, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. If you're on the Twitch, make sure you follow here. 2,601 of you have already hit the follow button. And if you want to support the channel directly, make sure you hit the exclamation mark merch, Substack, exclamation mark tip. If you want to keep up with the channel, join the Discord, folks. Appreciate y'all. Let's get started. The introduction video that I want to show about this space is actually on Blue Sky. Their at is thisspacetv.bluesky social. It looks like this. It looks like this.
Now the time is nearly upon us. Working class independent media. We are going to be streaming. We are going to be syndicating videos. We're going to be playing original content. It all starts June 10th. Please subscribe to that YouTube channel. Get ready to see it on other platforms. And please follow on social media. We are everywhere. Follow, subscribe. It's going to be very exciting. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A lot of people have tried this before. every time I bring it up to somebody, they say, "Wow, a lot of people have tried that before." And I say, "Apparently, yes." I keep hearing that, but no one has pulled it off. No one has gotten it off the ground quite the way we plan to. And believe me, along the way, we've seen how people have failed. We've seen all of the pitfalls. We've seen all of the ways we go, you know what? This is a moment right now where somebody gave up. This is a moment right now where somebody couldn't go on. This right here, this situation, this is what happened to somebody else and they blew it. And we have moved past it. We have persevered. We have kept moving forward. The hope is that we will not talk about it as much as you will talk about it. The hope is that everyone will be saying, are you watching this space? Do you know about this space? Are you in this
Do
space?
you?
Are you a part of this space?
Watch this space.
Yeah. Ladybug, welcome. So we'll play this promotional at the end of the stream as well. So yeah, check it out, folks. Lots of really good stuff coming down the pipeline. Ladybug, welcome. So apparently, Jordan Peterson went on this Jubilee thing, the same thing that Sam Cedar did, to, I guess, defend his theocratic, Christian-centered worldview of morality. So yeah, I guess Jordan Peterson has tried to enter our media space once again.
It's a hypothetical, and it's
You
not
can't answer
answerable.
hypotheticals?
No, I can't answer a hypothetical like
What?
that because
Did
it's
you eat
far.
today?
Right-wing content creator Jordan Peterson got
Oh man, that's kind of oof. We're not off to a great start there, Jordan.
a little rattled during a debate on God. So in this video, I have several clips to share from this Jubilee debate where it was once titled one thing and changed to something else. I'll get to that later. But
Is David Dole like rearranging his setup here? Is that an old CRT monitor? That's pretty cool, man. I need me one of these. That's what I want. I need to go more antique shopping and try to find a working CRT monitor. That's actually pretty cool.
this is such a stupid debate. Let me just be clear. I will link to the full thing below the video. You can watch it if you want, but I'm warning you, you're not going to get a whole lot out of it because this entire debate is based in the certainty of the unknown. Let me get to Jordan Peterson's entire argument here and how ridiculous this is.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, right. Like, if we're if we're debating like religiosity or whatever, yeah, I think it's already pretty. We're not off to a great start. Kirkenstein's Monster, welcome.
Morality and purpose cannot be found within science.
If you're saying that
Wait a minute. Morality and purpose cannot be found in science? I think that's kind of like a problem because science is not interested in morality. So why would you say, like, what does that have to do with science? Right? It doesn't mean that you also need religion or Christianity to find morality and purpose. Because you can find morality and purpose without Christianity. What does science have to do with any? Science doesn't care about anything except to try to find the closest thing to the truth possible based on the facts and tests conducted. That's what you do science for. Cheating a bit today, got one of those pretzel pizzas from Little Sleezers. That's fair.
that morality and purpose cannot come from science. Is the opposite of that true, that morality and purpose can only come from God?
That's a way of defining it, yes.
Okay.
That's right, that's good. So I would say that with regard to the first,
There's a lot of purpose in science, like mechanism, function, semantics. Yep. Let me rewind that.
that's a way of defining it, yes.
That morality and purpose cannot come from science. Is the opposite of that true, that morality and purpose can only come from God?
Right. So he's saying like, okay, so your argument is that's what this guy is saying.
That's a way of defining it, yes.
And then Jordan is confirming that this is exactly the correct characterization of the argument.
Okay.
That's right, that's good. So I would say that with regard to the first claim, say, atheists don't understand what they're rejecting, because I would say, by definition, God is the unity upon which moral claims are based. That's
Okay.
a definition.
If he believes
Wait, but that's your worldview, dude. Like, that's completely subjective.
that all morality is based in God, then how can anyone possibly argue with him when his argument is based on a definition of the unknown? I think there's a lot about our world that we can't explain, so to be so certain about the answers to me is just bizarre.
Yep.
But this is what this entire debate is based upon.
Sounds
The
kind
fact
of like
that
a waste
you
of
can't
time.
explain where morality.
Like, it seems like a waste of time for that exact reason. It's good, not amazing, but I do love pretzels. Who am I kidding? I haven't had anything bad to eat in a few weeks, so it's delicious. Nice. I had a pretzel the other day. It was good, but so salty. I haven't had a pretzel in a minute and a half. By saying you need religion to have morals is an open admission that you're an idiot. Yep. But that's just like your opinion, man. Literally, that's the meme. Okay, that's literally the meme. Welcome, bipedal meatbag faux machina. Exactly.
He comes from. Therefore, Christianity is the basis for all morality. How do you debate with somebody who is so certain in uncertainty?
The answer is you don't. Okay, unless you have absolutely nothing to do, you really don't, right? Like, you don't debate these kind of things, right? Because, like, why waste your time, man?
This actually reminded me of a quote from Conclave. Over the course of many years in the service of our mother, the church, let me tell you, there is one sin I have come to fear above all others: certainty. Certainty is the great enemy of unity. Certainty is the deadly enemy of tolerance. Even Christ was not certain at the end. Quote, my God, why have you forsaken me? He cried out in his agony at the 9th hour on the cross. Our faith is a living thing precisely because it walks hand in hand with doubt. If there was only certainty and no doubt, there would be no mystery and therefore no need
faith.
for faith.
Right, because faith is essentially what faith boils down to is believing stuff without evidence, right? That's what faith is. It's just believing stuff without evidence, right? You just have to have faith. If you need to be threatened with eternal damnation to be a good person, you're in fact not a good person. True. Morality, which comes from religion, is still subjective. Otherwise, people would agree on it, right? Yep. Christianity is not even close to the oldest religion. Most of it is stolen from older texts. Yep.
Now, all of this is sort of immaterial. In fact, this entire debate is not based in any sort of material reality, which is why I find it so bizarre to even try and debate this issue at all. But it gets even odder because Jordan Peterson, I think this may be the second or third clip, but we'll get there. Jordan Peterson does not even claim to be a Christian. He will not say whether or not he's actually Christian, despite the fact that the initial title of this video apparently was One Christian versus 20 Atheists, which was then changed to Jordan Peterson versus 20 Atheists. So why would you debate from the position of Christianity if you yourself aren't even a Christian? Unless there are some ulterior motives at play here, which you may speculate what those are on your own. But let me get to
let's be like,
next clip
yeah,
here.
dude, Jordan Peterson is absolutely a Christian. He is a Christian theocratic charlatan. Okay, he pretends, but like, let's be honest. Hate has it going. Most of history happened BC. Yep. Faith is belief despite evidence and facts. The idea that he has facts is beyond laughable. Sorry, this topic pisses me off because of people like Steve Harvey do the same shit.
So that was Brian in that clip with Jordan Peterson. He goes on to explain where he derives his morality from.
I'm actually a non-theist. I'm not an atheist. I believe the human condition is one of uncertainty. And what that means is that I don't believe that you can conclude there is a God with certainty, and I don't believe that you can conclude that there is a God without in the same position. Now, with that, I don't care. I still wake up every day and I have motivation to be a moral person.
Define moral.
Moral, what I ought to do.
Okay, and how do you come to that
And what I ought to
conclusion?
do, ultimately, it comes down to what not just benefits me, but what benefits the entire planet.
Yeah, so he's like, he basically wants to distill it to like, oh, so you just derive your morals from God, right?
Benefits the entire system. I think that your entire moral perspective comes from linear thinking. And when you look at the reality of the universe, it's actually more so holistic.
So I tend to agree with Brian here. I'm always quite skeptical of people who feel like they need a rule book to be a good person, because that tends to mean that they lack any sort of internal morality, any sort of empathy. So they need something else. That said, if that's going to ensure that they are not terrible people, then nothing's wrong with them following some sort of rule book, some sort of religion, I suppose, to ensure that they stay down a certain path. But oftentimes, the most religious people are also the worst people. So there is no...
Yeah, true. It used to be immoral in his book to eat shellfish. Yep. So obviously there's room for interpretation and evolution. Yep. Because, it's written, these books are written by people, right? Like humans, not some like divine entity, right? You could say that the divine entity spoke through them, but like, let's be real for 1 second. Yeah. David, spot on as usual. Yep. Don't be so sure, bucko.
No.
I don't know if I could ever do a Jordan Peterson impersonation.
There's no one and the same when it comes to following a Christianity, for example, and being a good person, which again, it goes back to why I find it so ridiculous to try and base morality in Christianity, especially when we get to what's in the Bible, and a future clip touches on that. But this also gets to the people that do need a rule book but don't have one. I think of people like Donald Trump, whose entire life is based in narcissism.
Yep.
He clearly does not feel empathy, but he succeeds. Many people who are born into situations that
Well,
are...
I mean, like, I think that there's like more factors at play there. Heat with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. 46 months. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. The Bible is just Jesus fanfic. True. People with hardly any information, cave people. Yep. I was so happy Sam did the Jordan Peterson voice for so long on Majority Report. Is delightful. The shellfish issue is rules to help you keep alive without modern refrigeration and our understanding of germs. You know what? That actually kind of makes sense. You act like you just got punched in the nuts and you're Mickey Mouse.
Are favorable to them in terms of money and status, because of course his parents were already wealthy, so he didn't have to work a whole lot to succeed early in life. Those sorts of people who are given those advantages and don't have any kind of moral center are able to succeed in this ridiculous society, because we have based a society around greed, essentially.
They only had room for 10. Testing to see if the Twitch block I wrote for worked at the office, and it did. Thanks for testing with me. Have a good stream. Thank you. Appreciate it.
If you're able to cheat your way to the top, you can do that, especially if you don't feel for the people around you or the people you impact while you are getting to the top. Let me get to the next clip now. This is Parker, who completely dismantles Jordan Peterson over
Is
a
this the
simple
young kid?
hypothetical.
Is this the young kid? Because this one by far is my favorite clip. Okay. I believe this is the same one they put on the Majority Report.
So do you believe in the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good notion of God?
What do you mean by believe?
What are you talking about? This is the kind of stuff that irritates me to no end about Jordan Peterson. Like, what do you mean by believe? Bro, come on. Come off it, man. What are these semantic games that you're playing, okay? Like, don't be freaking I think the word is pedantic. Don't be pedantic. Like, what do you mean by believe? Come on, man. Come off it. Morals are about linear thinking. Our understanding over time changes for better or worse, usually for better. Then if it's immoral to eat shellfish, it doesn't actually matter why it was created. What matters was it was moral, and now it's irrelevant, much like most of the Bible. Define is... yeah, he's trying to gotcha the kid. Yeah, but like... this is like wild, okay? What do you mean by mean? What do you mean by by? What do you mean by what?
Do you think it to be true?
That's the circular definition. What do you mean?
How is
when you
that
say you
circular?
believe?
It's not. That's not what circular means. Okay. So it would be like it would be like if I said that the definition of believe is when you believe something, right? That's kind of like a what's the term for it? When you use a word to define the word? I believe that's what's described. That's what we would be describing a circular argument, right? Like, oh, it's red because, well, it's red, right? Yeah, Mr. President, another cigar. Words are hard for Jordan. Yeah, apparently you have to define each one. Jordan Peterson's only goal is to get attention and money. The more attention we give him, the happier he is. Next. True. In this case, we live vicariously through David Dole's analysis here. I do agree with you. Erica, welcome. Tim Pool, no, we're dealing with we're not dealing with your average, okay, intellectual on the right. We're dealing with we're dealing with the intellectual titan, okay? We're dealing with the intellectual titan. Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Believe.
How is that circular?
Because you added no content to the answer by substituting the word true.
That's not what circular means. Found higher and deeper. Yep.
And believe.
I said you think it to be true.
All right. So if
What's
you
a
believe
belief?
something something, you stake your life on it.
What do you mean by that?
You live for it,
That's not what
and you
believe.
die for it.
That's not.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't believe something if you wouldn't die for it?
That's. Ooh.
Not really, no.
Okay. So then,
How would you define belief?
Hello?
Something you say?
Can I explain? Like, I could believe it.
What? That's not. This argument has just become about the basic definition of the word believe. Like, this is the thing with, like, Jordan Peterson, right? Like, this is the exact same thing that, like, is incredibly frustrating about Jordan Peterson, right? Because, like, now we're not actually talking about the subject. Like, the whole subject, first and foremost, is already, like, absurd. I've already lost track about what the initial contention was here. We're now engaged. We're now engaged in a debate about what the word and how, like, what constitutes a belief. Okay. I believe vanilla ice cream is the best. I agree. That's not chat. We can table this discussion. Okay. Like, vanilla, plain vanilla, ice cream is definitely the best, because, like, then you can just, like, add really cool stuff to it, like chocolate syrup. You can add chocolate syrup, caramel to it if you want to. You can add fruits to it. It has been decided, I guess I agree with the decision, so we're good. It can be fun if both parties are honest actors, true. Rigged election. It's circular because I hate it. Yep.
It is the case that this pen exists, but if someone like threatened my life, right, I would lie in order to be able to save my life, right? Like, I think you would do that too. You wouldn't lie to save your
Don't
life.
be so sure.
What? Don't be so sure, bucko. Like, he missed the bucko. Come on. Wait, maybe I paused it too early, okay?
You wouldn't lie to save your life?
How much do you know about me? I didn't.
Wait, that was a simple question. Like, dude, okay, Jordan Peterson's brain is beyond cooked. Okay? I'm sorry. Like, I actually already lost where we were at the content here. Don't be so sure I'm dumber than you give me credit for. Okay, let's rewind here, because I actually lost where we were trying to get to what the original contention was here. He lost his PhD because he would, in his mind, lie. Circular would not lie. Gotcha. Circular means you come to a conclusion based on the premise, which is based on the assumption of what the conclusion would be based on the presence. Yeah, right. I say it's red because it's red, right? This. I'm describing the color of this can as red. Well, why is it red? Well, because it's red, right?
Do you mean
How
when
is
you
that
say you
circular?
believe?
How is that circular?
Okay, let me go back here. Right here.
Aesthetical.
So do you believe in the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good notion of God?
Okay, so the original contention here, the question is, do you believe in essentially God as a omnipotent, omniscient being, right? That's it. That's all. This is a yes or no, by the way. Okay? Like, this is like a very, very simple question, right? So do you believe as God being a all-powerful, all-knowing, right? Like, he's omnipotent, omniscient, and like, he can only be good, I guess, right?
What do you mean by believe?
So immediately, like, we're taking a detour here. Immediately we're taking a detour about having a conversation on what constitutes a belief. Got it.
Do you think it to be true?
That's the circular definition.
Okay, so you think it to be true. So what do you mean by believe? The answer to that is, like, well, do you believe in it? That would be circular, right? That would be a way of that would be a way of making that argument circular. Like, well, do you believe it to be true? Define belief. Well, do you believe in it? So I think that would be circular. Instead, he says, well, no, I'm defining it as, like, do you think that this is true, right? That is what I am defining as the belief in this argument that we're having here. Like, do you think it to be true that I think, like, honestly, he should have just rephrased it, like, not even answer the question. He should have said, do you think it to be true that there is a all-powerful, all-knowing, all-good, whatever, like, do you think that to be true, right? I believe in magic. It's not that he can only be good. It's not that he can only be good by omniscient and omnipotent. It's that he's responsible for the good and the bad. Yep. It's going to love you guys. The answer should be, do you have faith? Yep. I believe in belief. The Ponder Monkey, welcome. He can't even have a back and forth. No, his brain is totally cooked.
What do you mean
How
when
is
you
that
say
circular?
you believe?
How is that circular?
Because you added no content to the answer by substituting the word true and believe.
I said you think it to be true.
All right. So if
Right. Like, this is very simple. Do you think it to be true? Like, he should have just rephrased it there, that, you know, this all-powerful, all-knowing entity, is that your characterization of God?
if
What's
you
a belief?
believe something, you stake your life on it.
What do you mean by that?
But that's not like a belief, right? That's not like a belief. Like, I have a belief of, like, I don't know, like, insert whatever, like, a spiritual, like, thing, but, like, you don't have to stake your life in it for it to be a belief. Like, that's just what I believe in, right? Old man, give it up. You sound confusing, not dominating. Ketamine's a hell of a drug. I believe I can fly. The Benzos were not kind to this man. My grandpa went senile before passing away. Oh, yeah, I mean, like, this guy's brain is cooked. I believe I can
live for it?
fly.
And you die for it.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't believe something if you wouldn't die for it?
Not really, no.
Okay. So then,
How would you define belief? Something you say?
Can I explain?
No. It's just something that a belief is something that you adhere to and you consider it to be true or to be some kind of moral or spiritual kind of axiom, right? Like, I believe that Jesus Christ said, feed the poor, and yeah, that's it, right? Well, we'll stake my life on my wife. Love me, I believe it will rain tomorrow. Not willing to risk death on it. I believe the Pastafarians shall inherit the earth. I'm okay with that.
Explain. Like, I could believe it is the case that this pen exists, but if someone like threatened my life, right, I would lie in order to be.
Right, like, exactly. A belief is just something that you think that you think is true, right? Like a fact, perhaps, or a moral stance, perhaps. He takes us down such a pointless rabbit hole. It feels intentional. Yeah, because like because there's nothing to contend here, right? Like you're like, he's just a clown. So yeah, of course. Like, if I was Jordan Peterson, I would be doing the exact same thing, right? More likely to be true than not. Yeah, but like, it's something that you hold, right? Like, it's you say that, like, I hold this statement to be true, or you know, whatever. That's what a belief is. Like, I have confidence that this thumb drive is real, right? Like, I believe that this thumb drive is real. I believe that all my files for the stream are in this thumb drive, which incidentally it is. I believe that what I'm looking at right here is a computer. You bring on clowns, you expect a circus. Peterson looks like a weak, like a charlatan, like a loser. Hey, which incidentally, that's what he is, right? Like, he is a theocratic charlatan who pretends that he's not some kind of Christian theocrat, right? But he is, while trying to maintain some kind of academic pretense to which he tries to launder this kind of nonsense. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Be able to save my life, right? Like, I think you would do that too. You wouldn't lie to save your
Don't
life.
be so sure.
Don't be
You
so
wouldn't
sure,
lie to save your life?
bucko.
How much do you know about me? I didn't lie to save my career. I didn't lie to save my clinical practice.
But that's not the question, right? Like, he said you wouldn't lie to save your own life, not your own career, right? I believe there's life somewhere else in the universe. There you go. That's a belief. So weak, low energy.
Practice.
Would you lie to like save your children, your mom, your dad?
I don't think lying would save them.
Can there ever be a circumstance logically that lying could save someone?
The answer to that question is yes, obviously, right? Of course, there could be a circumstance where you would lie to protect someone's life, especially if there's somebody close, like a family member or a close friend, and your ability to lie, their life, right, would be spared if your lie worked, right? I mean, like, come on. Let's be honest. Like, the only answer to that question is yes, right? Obviously. I believe separation is an illusion. Listening to JBP kills brain cells.
Yeah, and if you're steeped in sin, you're likely to live in circumstances like that.
I'll give you an example. If you're like in like
Okay, but like, you're gonna die if you don't lie. So I don't know, man. I think if you're this is the problem with like with strict adherence to religion in this fashion, because it's actually Tim Pool, it's actually the ontological line of thinking, right? Lying is bad because it's bad, and you shouldn't lie because it's bad. So, like, under no circumstance should you lie because it's bad. But, like, there are circumstances where lying could actually produce a positive outcome, especially if it's to say, I don't know, save your life. I believe when I leave the house, my dog thinks I'm dead. When I return, he believes I've resurrected, like that one dude. If you believe that abortion is murder, then you can understand why an anti-abortionist would have to kill a MD that performs abortion. Yep. Pimtool would tell Nazis where the people are hiding. Yep.
like Nazi Germany, and it is the case that there's like Jewish people in your attic and you're trying
I
to
know
protect
the
them,
example.
would you lie to like the Nazis? If
I
they're
would have done
asking?
everything I bloody well could so I wouldn't be in that situation
you
to
lie?
begin with.
But like, wait a minute, bro, come off it. Look, hey, oi, the hypothetical, which is incidentally a very real hypothetical that happened, okay, in Nazi Germany. Okay, like the easy, like this isn't like complicated, right? This isn't complicated, like morally speaking, right? You would look at that SS officer or whatever, and you would be like, no, there's nobody here, and that's the end of it, right? Because like your moral obligation would be to protect life, and if that means lying, okay, to said ICE officer, then like, yeah, dude, yeah, you lie, okay? You're supposed to lie. Okay, this is the problem, because like, oh, the lying's always bad, so you should never lie. Yeah, this dude would be the guy that like gives up Anne Frank, no doubt. Like, this is the kind of guy that would immediately give up immediately give up Anne Frank. Okay. Lying as a tool can be used for good or bad. Yep. Can't remember his name. Some people believe he existed. Maybe he did. Some people believe it's kind of like a part magic Sky Daddy and kind of doubt that part. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you believe that oh yes. He just brings out the full contempt over a mild hypothetical, which incidentally is a thing that happened. However, the only legal advice we give here is shut the F up. Jordan would put the lipstick to lick Yahtzee boots. Translation, he would not hide Jews in his house. Yep. Right? Like, yeah, I would not put myself in that situation. I.e., he would just be like, nope, you can't stay here, because that means I would have to lie. What? That is insane. That is insane. But, like, let's say even if I guess he would harbor people, he would not lie. So he would just be like, yep, I got people here. Right? Like, yep, come on in. I got, Anne Frank's in the closet to your right.
It's a hypothetical, and it's
You
not
can't answer
answerable.
hypotheticals?
Right. So again, that hypothetical is a thing that very real, like that really happened in Nazi Germany. Okay. I mean, like, we literally just watched Schindler's List not that long ago, and that guy had to lie up the wazoo to essentially protect 1,000 plus people. I think it was 1,200, 1,400 people that he managed to save because he lied and he forged paperwork, and he lied and he forged paperwork. He would take them in with the express intention of turning them in. Yeah, that would be this guy, right? They're in the closet, just don't mess up my house. The Supreme Court does not entertain hypotheticals, except...
No.
To have such a black and white moral shows a lack of understanding and or disregard for reality. Right, like, this is the problem when you get caught up in this kind of, this kind of, like, theocratic, like, cult thinking, right? Because, like, you can't break out of that possibility that, like, maybe your morals aren't that straightforward, and, like, sometimes, okay, breaking the morals of, like, say, lying is a good thing, and you may need to do it to protect somebody, which incidentally, like, the Bible also says that you're supposed to, like, love your neighbor and love your neighbor and treat them as you would yourself.
Oh, I can't answer a hypothetical like
What?
that because
Did
it's
you eat
far.
Did you
Don't
eat
play
today?
games.
I'm not playing a game. I'm just
Yes,
asking if
you
you ate
are.
it.
If you present me with an intractable moral choice that's stripped of context and you back me,
But there's no context to be stripped here. It's just very simple, right? Like, so the question is, like, your morality tells you that you can't lie, but here's a situation where you should lie because you would be protecting people, and he's like, oh, don't back me up into this court. Like, dude, you can't be mad that he just exposed how the very, very critical flaw here that you've got yourself into. Christians don't read the Bible, Carlos. True. These Kermit emotes. I mean, like, these are literally the same expressions that he's doing. It's actually so funny how on point specifically these two emotes are. It's the exact same facial expressions that I see when I think of this interaction.
a corner, you're playing game. I just told you
Hypothetical.
I would do everything that I could to make sure that I'm never in that situation.
Okay, but, like, how would you never be in that situation in Nazi Germany? Okay. Should you tell someone they're ugly if they ask? Should you tell someone their kid is ugly? Right. I mean, like, yeah, like, these are these are things that, like, maybe, you know, maybe sometimes, like, just like maybe not, you know, but like whatever. I do it every day. Ugly is subjective, true. Some kids are ugly though.
Situation. By the time you've got there, you've made so many mistakes that there's nothing you can do that isn't a sin.
Okay, but like, who gives a shit, right? Like, sorry, but like, who gives a crap, right? What are you talking about? Like, how many mistakes could you make where, say, like, some a refugee comes to your house and says, like, hey, you know, they're looking for me, and it's clearly like you're in a authoritarian fascist regime, and you're gonna be like, oh, can't lie, it's a sin. There's like many sins that I'm gonna do now, so I can't. Sorry. And then, like, wouldn't it be worse? Like, how would you square? Okay, you want a hypothetical? Here's a question. Like, how would you square your morality? Is because if you didn't find yourself in that position to begin with to protect these people, they end up dead because of you. Huh? How do we square that circle? Because you didn't want to get involved, or because you didn't want to make mistakes, right? That didn't put you in a position where you had to lie to protect somebody. Now those people are now dead. Not be there? Yeah, I mean, like, he's just like, I guess I should have been born in a different country. I guess I should have been born in a different country so that I wouldn't have to lie about hiding Jewish people from Nazis. Yeah, dude. Okay. Sure, dude. Cool, man. Defined circle. I mean, like, that's basically the argument that he's making, right? Like, in this scenario, what Jordan Peterson is saying, like, well, just don't be born a Nazi, or just don't be born during Nazi Germany, and like, you're good to go. Thanks, dude. As someone I know who is someone I know online who's a third grader had to have a real life shooter drill today. Freaking country. Question is, why is there homeless folks? Why does that seem no one? Why does it seem that no one wants to take them in? I mean, like, because we suck as a society. You know, talk about moral failings, right? Talk about not living a life. Talk about not living a life of in Jesus Christ, who would command to feed the poor, to house the poor, and who would command the rich to discard their possessions, right? You want to talk about living a life for Jesus Christ, okay? Poor people should have just been born rich. True.
Being born in Nazi Germany and trying to protect people that you care about, like, there could be a Jewish friend that you have and you want to protect them.
I think you should
have
just
them
give
in your
up on
attic.
that line of questioning.
Yeah, because again, this is, by the way, a totally real thing that happened in Nazi Germany, right? Like, he's getting very uncomfortable with this, like, because obviously, like, we're about a skip and a hop, okay, from this guy just having like a breakdown and screaming that he would indeed just give up everybody to the Nazis, okay? He would literally just go around and telling the Nazis where everyone is. We're about a skip and a hop from that admission right here.
Give up on just like trying to clarify your position? Because you
I
don't
did
like, are you like
clarify.
uncomfortable with me asking this question? It's just a basic
Jordan big mad. He warns the guys that the guy doesn't want to get slapped down. Quite the opposite. Yep. A church service should have breakfast to the homeless prior to attempting to preach to them. Yep. I mean, like, literally, it's right there in the Bible. about well, at least in the parts where Jesus was around, and he talked about going around feeding the hungry, right? And talking about how the rich should give up possessions to help the poor, right? Essentially, what he means is get rid of your wealth and redistribute it to the poor. I mean, like, yeah, dude. But we don't want to talk about that. You know, we don't want to discuss those parts of Christianity. What if the trolley is set to kill 5 people and you could switch the track to just kill 1? The driver wants to hit 5, but thinks he's on the track to only hit 1 and asks you if you should switch the track to hit all 5. What do you say? Define trolley.
Like, I could ask
It's
you.
just
Schmagley, welcome. The part with Parker get a job was really funny. That's the filthy liberal Jesus, though. We don't follow that one. Yeah, we follow supply line Jesus, supply side Jesus. Okay, we only follow supply side Jesus. A pretty little train. Okay. But like, are there multiple tracks on the train, or like why are you giving me this hypothetical? Okay, I don't like this line of questioning. That's a circular definition. How about I should have gone with that one. How about we do better maintenance on the trolley so people are not getting killed?
just a basic
Yeah, yeah.
hypothetical
Like, you-
where you're
like,
you
if you-
put Jews.
Yes. Just a basic hypothetical where we test your morals, okay? And we put that assertion, right, that like you shouldn't lie under any circumstance to the test. Yeah, I mean, like the problem here that Jordan is having is that this is like, I mean, like this is like a house of cards, right? Like you ask one simple question and the whole thing just falls apart. And that's why he's mad, because he can't defend it, because there's nothing to defend here. You're just a gross person, right? Who would indeed perfectly go to sleep at night, knowing that you would not lie and get people sent to the chambers. Okay, like let's be honest. Okay, just say it. Will he have time people to the tracks? That's a better question.
Lives at stake in Nazi Germany. That's just a basic hypothetical.
Obviously, you would lie.
But what? That's not a hype. I mean, like, really, it's not a hypothetical. He's just asking if things had happened in the past where, I don't know, like if you were in that situation, which it did happen, like, what would you do? And like, I think we got our answer here from Jordan Peterson.
In that scenario to save their life, but you're like not trying to answer this question for some reason.
I just told you why.
Are you anti-fascist? Like, so you're
Why are
anti-fascist?
you asking that?
I was just asking.
You know, like the guy, the you know, for the guy who got super triggered about being drawn as the Red Skull, right? The Nazi Red Skull in the Captain America comics. I mean, like, the people, the creators of that comic saw Jordan Peterson and saw him and thought like, oh, this guy would be perfect for the Red Skull. I mean, like, he's not helping his case here, okay? He's not really helping his case here. It's their own fault for letting themselves get tied to the tracks. That's the real answer to the trolley problem. In theory, it's a hypothetical possibility that may be true depending on the circumstances. Jordy would look at Hitler in the eye and say, "Listen, bucko, clean your room." Yeah, that'll fix it. The Red Skull podcast. Clean your room, Bucko. I'd never be in that position.
Asking, just clarifying.
All right, so I'm not.
Oh wait, I wanted to see that. Oh come on, like I wanted to see what he would like. He got big mad if he asked by being asked if you're anti-fascist. The immediate answer to that question by any normal person would be like, yeah, of course I don't want fascism. Like why would being asked if I was anti-fascist such a would ruffle so much feathers here, right? Like it's pretty simple. No, I don't like fascists because fascists are authoritarians who in almost every iteration of fascism move towards genocide. It's a genocidal ideology. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Not usually a fan of hypotheticals because I prefer to live in the real world and use real world examples of.
But like that's the thing though. Like in the kid's hypothetical, that's like a real world scenario, right? Like we know these kind of things happened in Nazi Germany. This is not like a fake thing that you'd have to imagine. Like, dude, just go read some history. You would find that there are we literally just watched a movie about this not that long ago, a couple months ago. Don't understand why that's so hard to answer because like he's a fascist.
Things that are
he pretends that he's not a fascist or that he doesn't believe in fascist ideology. Like maybe his brain is so cooked that he doesn't consider himself a fascist, but like he's trying to launder fascist ideals, encapsulate them in this kind of theocratic Christian kind of view and sell them through like this academic veil, right? Like he sells them as like this academic, pill that you're supposed to take, right? Like clean up your room. Here's 12 rules for life or whatever. 12 more rules.
actually happening. But this whole debate is based in a hypothetical of God. So a hypothetical argument is perfectly at home here. And Jordan Peterson sets himself up. He's the one that says, quote, if you believe something, you stake your life on it.
Yeah, which, again, that's not the definition of a belief necessarily. You just, like, a belief, you could just Google this, okay? Like, if you want the legit, like, if we're going to be pedantic, okay, and Google, like, the actual definition of the word based on, like, the dictionary, is just simply an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. Another underlying definition: trust or faith or confidence that's in someone or something. I believe in you, right? But like in this context, I think we're dealing with more of the first definition: an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists, right? Define Google. Yeah, Antifa are the real fascists. It's supposed to be an example everyone should be familiar with and know that the Nazis are clearly the bad guys and lying to them to help their victims is actually good. Right. And like, again, like what blows my mind is like, he's so caught up in like, oh, why are you trying to tie me up in this hypothetical? But like, it's not, these things happened. The reason is that most of the average folk that fought against Nazis were killed by the Nazis. Most did not go against the Nazis. Jordan tried to bluster, then Parker's hypothetical had no precedent or something to wave it away like it's actually an illegal debate move or something. Yep. Define definition. I don't know, it sounds circular to me.
A bit melodramatic, that said. He's faced with a hypothetical here. Would you lie to save someone's life? And he wouldn't answer it, which is so, like, there was an easy way for him out of this argument, which is to say, well, my morality is based in human life. So of course I would lie because...
Yeah, and you can even frame it in a Christian kind of way too, right? You could easily do that. And it would make sense. But whatever. You know, Looney Tunes, the late Surfs Raider is here, using his position as a, quote, esteemed guest to strong-arm the student. What a man. Yep.
That's what the morality is based in. But instead, because he's basing his morality in some amorphous idea of what God is, then he's not able to answer the question. So again, this gets to why is the idea of God, why is that superseding
Why is Jordan Peterson
any sort of
I think that's
material
a bigger
idea
question.
of what you believe in the real world? Like life, like family, like human rights, workers' rights. Why aren't you basing morality in that as opposed to basing it in the Bible or God?
And
It's just
which, incidentally, again, you could easily frame this in a Christian way if you wanted to, right? But you know, Parker took it like Jordan was not accepting the time travel part of the hypothetical.
this I think this debater probably did the best job at exposing how stupid this entire thing is. That said, there's another one. Danny's the next clip I'm going to share here, where he just sort of has fun with this whole thing.
Are you familiar with the Immaculate Conception?
Why is that relevant?
Because you go to a Catholic church, don't you? Or you've attended recently. You're interested in Catholicism, aren't you?
Sure,
All right. Are you familiar with their doctrines?
somewhat.
Okay, you're
Their
familiar.
doctrines are very
how do they
deep.
regard Mary?
Yeah, I mean, like, you have to you have to really, like, this is by far, like, being aggro, okay, is probably, like, being aggro and assertive is probably the best, because, like, you're not there to, like, debate, really, in terms of, like, actual having an actual discussion, not with someone like this, right? Not with someone like this. Soul Life, welcome.
Why are you asking me that?
Because you're a Christian.
You say that. I haven't claimed that.
Oh, what is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
I don't know.
You don't know where.
Oh, what? Oh my God. Wait. Like, oh, then what are we all doing here? God is hypothetical, and I would do everything humanly possible to not have to make that choice. How's it going, Looney Tunes? Everything was a hypothetical until it wasn't.
Where you are right now.
Don't be a smartass.
Well,
but the whole thing is about debating against anti-theists. You're supposed to be the theist. This is so much funnier if this was from a weird God's Not Dead Freaky Friday movie. Oh, I do want popcorn.
And I mean,
either you're a
'cause I
Christian
won't
or you're
talk
not.
to you if you're a smartass.
Either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
I could be either of them, but I don't have to tell
could be-
you.
You don't have to tell me. I was under the impression
private.
I was invited.
Yeah, like, hey, what are we doing here then? All right, good talk. What?
To talk to a Christian. Am I not talking to a Christian?
No, you were invited to.
I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video.
You're right.
Oof. He's about to short out and start buffering. Oof. That was rough. He sounds like a child almost.
Quite something you are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing. Right?
Oh, oh my God, and out of nowhere he comes with the steel chair. Oh my God. Oh my God, I did not see this part. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's a perfect freaking freeze frame right here, because that's exactly my freaking reaction. Oh my goodness. The boy on the playground was mean to me. Perfect reaction shot. Seriously. They changed the title for JP, though, as a result of this, I've heard. I mean, like, yeah. Because, like, he literally is like, well, then I'm not, like, a Christian. I'm not going to admit that I am. I'm not going to admit that I'm not. So then, like, why are all these anti-theists or quote-unquote atheists here, right? You know what? I might actually spend some time watching this Jubilee, okay? Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
You're not a Christian.
Okay, I'm done with him.
All right. Well,
Oof.
to be fair,
Oof.
the kid's being a little rude if you're trying to convince somebody of something, which is not what he's trying to do there.
Yeah, I mean, like, but also, like, why am I trying to convince Jordan Peterson, right? Like, I'm not there to try to do any convincing, right?
Clear. But if you are trying to convince somebody of something in a debate, that's not the attitude you want going in the debate. That said, this probably
I did not consent to Jordan's humiliation fetish. Peterson's whole job is offensive to me. F him.
is the attitude you should be going into this debate with, because of how ridiculous the entire basis for Jordan Peterson's argument is. Now, the initial title of the video apparently was One Christian versus 28.
They did change it. You're right, chat. You're right. Soul Life. Lunar, welcome. And Jordan, kind of way, pathetic as a human. Jordan was getting snippy first. Yeah. One hypothetical Christian. That's exactly it. Yeah, they should have changed. They should have changed the title of the video to One Hypothetical Christian. They're there to get owned by Peterson. Let's be honest.
Atheists.
Look for a Christian and chose Jordan Peterson. Who made that decision? I don't know. Whoever is like, hey, who can go up to bat for this, and who would get us the most amount of clicks? Okay. They should have gone with Russell Brand. Do you think Jordan was just hangry? Nope, that's just how he is. Joe Rogan is now a Christian. Uh-oh. Oof. What are we going to learn in the future?
Which they then...
What are we going to learn about Rogan? Because, like, he was very staunchly against religion, right? Like, not just Christianity, but he was supposedly, like, very agnostic, right? The title was changed to Jordan Peterson versus 28th. Oh my God.
changed to Jordan Peterson.
Oh, yeah,
versus-
there it is. Looney Tunes. Maybe he did an oopsie that he needs redemption for.
It's 20 atheists. Why? Who knows? Maybe he complained. Maybe they-
that comment right there. You couldn't put those youngsters in danger around Rapey Russ. True, honestly. Yeah, I think like Russell Brand is like basically radioactive. Like, when's the last time like Russell Brand was out in like a meaningful like appearance, right? That's not on his like Rumble podcast or whatever. Rogan as a Christian gives a new meaning to Fear Factor. The Vanguard predicted it. Yeah, a reborn rebrand. Get him to the Greek? Get him to the church, I guess.
They were reminded of the fact that he said during the debate that he never claimed he was a Christian. So, but still, why are you here in this debate basing all of your arguments within Christianity and the Bible? Yet you won't even say if you're a Christian.
Yeah, it's total.
Kind of weird.
It's total
Here is the
total
last
nonsense.
clip. This is Ian, who dismantles the idea that morality is based in Christianity.
My final claim is that atheists accept Christian morality, but deny the religion's foundational stories.
So in 1 Samuel 15:3, God says, go and slaughter the Amalekites, slaughter the men, the women, the children, the infants. What's the justification for that? Is that in line
That's a
with
good
Christian
question.
ethics?
That's a good question. I don't really know what to do with the terrible, blood-soaked, saturated history of the human past. I don't know. And I don't think anybody
Yeah, so that's not the problem here. The problem is we're discussing like the morality. And like if you're claiming that like Christianity is some kind of like moral like Christianity is like the genesis of morals, and like we have things like commanding to commit genocide, like I don't know, man. I don't know. Christianity has a monopoly on no morals. Just do what other church folks do. Toss out the Old Testament. I don't want to imagine being that close to Jordan's face.
No,
Neither.
I mean, what you try to do in your own life, as far as I can tell, is to conduct yourself in a manner that makes such things much more unlikely.
I totally agree.
We're all
Yeah, so like I mean that's what like normal like people would do, right? Like if you're a Christian nowadays, at like the first thing that I would do is like, hey, you know that guy Jesus Christ? Let's let's talk about him more, and I would immediately like denounce the more obviously morally reprehensible parts, because I would want to A, be a better person, and B, further Christianity in a more positive light, while also like being like, hey, this is a accepting religion that cares about people, that wants to serve the greater good. We want to make sure people are fed. We want to make sure people are housed. We want to make sure people are clothed, like Jesus would. Jordan surely has some pretty bad breath.
saddled with the problem of the catastrophes that got us here, aren't we?
Yeah, but this one was commanded by God. That's the problem.
Yeah,
That's
well-
what differentiates it from anything else, is that this one, it's God
Do you
saying,
think that
go
there's
and
ever
do this
such a thing-
atrocity.
Do you think that there's ever such a thing as a righteous war?
I'm skeptical. I'm not sure. It would probably be situational.
Well, right, fair
Yeah,
enough.
but this one
people,
certainly wasn't a just war. The context for the Amalekite slaughter is that 400 years earlier, they fought one battle, which they lost, and God says, that's it, I'm going to wipe them off the face of the goddamn earth. And then 400 years later, he commands the Israelites to genocide their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren. That's not a just war at all. And also, genocide is not a war.
well, a genocide can be a war.
No, there's specific definitions for a reason. Did this vid show the Parker part, or is that towards the end? I think it was towards the beginning. So yeah, definitely we went over that part. Egg came first. Fact: something that was almost a chicken had mutated egg that turned into the first chicken. Bad breath and meat sweats. Oof.
But
Absolutely not.
Look.
The genociding of the Amalekites, the men, the women, and the infants, that's not a war. The infants aren't combatants.
look, I already said that it's very difficult to look at the blood-soaked past and to know exactly what to
Define
do
war.
about it.
Except that is not the argument that was being made. Your argument was atheists accept Christian morality, but deny the religion's foundational stories.
Right.
Here you have Ian, who is embracing the religion's foundational stories. God is telling these people to do horrible things.
Yeah. I mean, like, a lot of atheists are more versed in what the Bible actually says than Christians are. Well, these kind of Christians anyways. Is Bad Lefty here? Yep, he's here. Define do.
And you are outright rejecting those stories, even though your own argument says we should be embracing them. But to embrace them means you embrace doing horrible things in the
Which Peterson, by the way, is completely fine with doing horrible stuff, right? Like, He doesn't like he would completely. He does make arguments, pro genocide arguments. Morality existed before religion. Religion just wrote it down. Mountain Dew? I have Mountain Dew. I have sugar-free Mountain Dew. I'm actually scared of Mountain Dew because I learned that Mountain Dew has like twice the amount of caffeine than I originally thought it would contain, and so I have to be very careful about Mountain Dew. It does. It's just like jet fuel. It looks like jet fuel. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what jet fuel looks like.
In the obedience towards God. So I don't think Jordan Peterson won one argument.
Nope, he just looks like he just looks like a clown the whole time.
The best he could do is skirt around it and make a different argument. And again, when the basis of your argument is morality is based in God, how can anybody possibly argue with you when you are so certain about uncertainty? None of it makes any sense. Last thing worth mentioning here is just the fact that he conflated genocide and war there, which worth bringing up this tweet from October 7th. Give him hell, Netanyahu. Enough is enough. And then so he's perfectly fine with genocide. I mean, I guess he is living up to the standards, right? I guess he is living up to the God command of just slaughtering people. Netanyahu went on to give them hell.
Oh, Code Red. I haven't had Code Red in such a minute. Multitasking, but mainly not doing it well. No problem. It's pretty much kerosene. Okay, folks, we got to get through this. We need rigidly defined rules for doubt and uncertainty. Yep. Baja Blast. That's the one I have. I have Baja Blast. Sugar-free Baja Blast. It's playing chess, learning Latin, modding, and watching CNN. Nice! Multitask these tasks? Nice. I can't do any of that. I'll be honest. Look, I have trouble enough keeping up. With stream. So props, because I can't. I can't do that. I can't absorb watching CNN plus watching chat plus playing a game, especially one like chess, while also learning a language. No. Well, Code Red walks the line of cherry flavor without being medicine-y. Boo! Why the hell is Trump continuing to pardon criminals? Because they're his criminals. Jet fuel is kerosene-based. Gotcha. Baja Blast seems like it would taste good and also seems like it would be a good cleaner at the same time. I can't confirm that it does taste good. Livewire is the orange one that has been out for a while. I haven't had it. Trump pardons Virginia sheriff convicted of federal bribery charges. Only the white criminals, though. I think I want to walk to the corner store and get some Code Red. I usually drink new flavors on road trips. Gonna have to take a trip soon. Nice. President Trump on Monday, yesterday, Memorial Day, granted an unconditional pardon to a Virginia sheriff who had been convicted on federal bribery charges and sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. Nice. That's cool. Hey, as long as you're his criminal, then you're good to go. Consequences be damned. Corruption, that's just the normal here. Scott Jenkins, who has been the sheriff of Culpeper County, Virginia, was sent to jail on Tuesday. Reports to jail on Tuesday. Sheriff Scott Jenkins, his wife Patricia, and their family have been dragged through hell by a corrupt and weaponized Biden DOJ. Like I said, corruption is okay. There are no consequences, and I think the cherry on top here is that he is law enforcement. So as long as you're his people, right, then the rules don't apply to you. And I think the underlying story behind all of this is that, like, exactly that. There are two systems of justice being played here. One where if you are the in crowd, right, and you are part of the regime, or you are important to the regime in any way, shape, or form, whether it be for propaganda purposes, whether you're a major supporter, or whether you're law enforcement, some kind of combination, then the rules apply differently to you. If you are convicted, right, not just charged, I mean, like, you went through a trial and people, the jury of your peers convicted you of a very serious crime like bribery for a public official that is very, very serious. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's no consequences because, the dear leader applies the law differently to you as opposed to everyone else. Why would Joe Biden do this? Said Trump in his statement in Truth Social. In fact, during his trial, when Sheriff Jenkins tried to offer exculpatory evidence to support himself, the Biden judge, Robert Ballou, refused to allow it, shut him down, and then went on a tirade. So again, this is also another point to bring up here is his constant war against the judiciary. This, make no mistake about it, this is not just about rewarding his people, but it's also about the judiciary, okay? Because the judiciary currently is the only branch right now that is currently standing up to Donald Trump, and he doesn't like that because he is a dictator, okay? He has lost substantially in the judiciary, and a lot of his agenda has been tied up because of these rulings, up to and including the Supreme Court, who he not only helped not only was he a architect of the current 6-3 majority Supreme Court, but he's gone on to call them left Supreme Court judges, right? Or insinuating that they're being controlled by the radical left, right? Some people are saying it's corrupt, but what am I going to do? Pass up a free jet? Yep. There's also a third kind. Be wealthy. Most likely never charge if you can spend a fortune to take years to trial. Yes, that's true. Quote, as we have seen federal, city, and state courts, radical left or liberal judges allow into evidence what they feel like, not what is mandated under the Constitution and rules of evidence. I mean, like, this is a constant, like, theme here. But every accusation is just a confession, right? The sheriff is a victim of an overzealous Biden Department of Justice and doesn't deserve to spend a single day in jail. Yeah, not only is he my people, but like the judiciary needs to step back and get with the program, because wherever I can, I'm going to exert my power. Yeah, the damn radical left demanding healthcare and rights. As we have seen, Jenkins faced a jury trial in late of 2024, but wasn't sentenced until March of 2025 under the Trump administration. Acting attorney, U.S. Attorney Zachary Lee, who represented the U.S. government and therefore the Trump administration in the case, is still serving as the acting U.S. attorney for the Western District of Virginia. Trump praised Jenkins as a, quote, wonderful person who was persecuted by the radical left mobsters. So, i.e., again, these are his people. Imagine thinking money makes you a better person. I mean, people like Trump seem to think so. I don't even think his new jet would be made Air Force One ready in 4 years. I mean, like... Trump praised Jenkins as a wonderful person who was persecuted by the radical left monsters and left for dead. Because he took bribes. Okay? Mind you, that's what we're talking about. He's worth over $25 billion right now. If it gets to the point where you're taking bribes but no longer doing it for the money, right? Because it's just Trump, you know. hey, I like getting things. I like doing quid pro quos, right? He sees them as deals. You give me a jet, and we'll make a deal on whatever future, maybe foreign policy that you want from me. We'll make a deal. It's not about the money. I still propose the American people use GoFundMe to buy him a jet so he can have a stay in our government. Hey, Trump, do us a favor and stay out of the goddamn legal system. It makes him feel like a special boy. Yeah, I mean, like it's about it's about what you can do for me and what I can do for you. It's a quid pro. It's a quid pro quo, and as you say, it shows loyalty, right? It could have just been like the gift could have been like a $1 gift, but the point is to show, as Moana brings up the point, is to show loyalty too. This is why I, as President of the United States, see fit to end his unfair sentence, grant Sheriff Jenkins a full and unconditional pardon. He will not be going to jail tomorrow, but instead will have a wonderful and productive life, serving me, of course. There's a school of thought that the jet in question was about to be decommissioned due to poor maintenance. Oof. The 747 is a huge plane meant for hauling hundreds of people at a time. It's pure waste as a personal jet. Yep, because efficiency. Lee wrote in a March sentencing memo that Jenkins repeatedly violated the public's trust by exploiting his official powers for personal gain. After he was caught, he sought to manipulate the judicial process and to evade responsibility for his crimes by lying to the court and the jury. I mean, like, this is the kind of guy that Trump pardoned, by the way, unconditionally. Okay. In sum, Jenkins' lies and abuse of power in the instant cases are not an aberration. Since his early days in law enforcement, Jenkins has displayed a shocking disregard for his ethical and legal responsibilities. The Department of Justice said in a press in March that he had received over $75,000 in cash payments for appointing numerous Northern Virginia businessmen as auxiliary deputy sheriffs within his department. Cool! Scott Jenkins violated his oath of office and faith the citizens of Culpeper County placed in him when he engaged in a cash for badge scheme. We hold our elected law enforcement officials to a higher standard of conduct, and in this case proves that when those officials use their authority for unjust personal enrichment, the Department of Justice will hold them accountable. And then, of course, if you're favorable to the regime, then you're okay. You'll just get a pardon from the big man himself. Speaking of pardons, I mean, like, we can't not talk about pardons when without talking about the January 6th insurrectionists, specifically one of the people who are the ringleaders of the insurrection, and actually one of the people convicted for sedition, which is Stewart Rhodes, which is the leader of the I just had it in the tip of my tongue. The leader of the Oath Keepers. Walmart has higher standards for employees than the federal government. In his first week as Justice Department's full week as Justice Department's pardon attorney, Ed Martin personally reviewed a pardon application for Oath Keepers founder Stewart Rhodes. Peter Tickton, a lawyer and former classmate of President Trump's at New York Military Academy, hand-delivered a collection of 11 pardons application to Martin at the Justice Department on Thursday, including one for Rhodes, who was convicted of seditious conspiracy and sentenced to 18 years in prison in connection with the insurrection. I mean, like, again, this guy was convicted of sedition in connection with the insurrection that happened at the Capitol in January 6th. And this is the kind of person that Trump is pardoning. This is the type of people that the administration is pardoning. But because they're his people, then insurrections are okay. And of course, these are the same people who will characterize Democrats at a peaceful protest as, quote, storming, as, quote, storming the ICE building or whatever. Same people. Can U.S. stop supporting genocide, or is it restricted by law, by L.A.? As always, I mean, we technically on the books shouldn't be supporting genocide, but like, you know, the United States has a history of just not caring. So yeah, Trump will need Stuart Rhodes and all of those January 6 freaks in 2029. Quote, I know Ed Martin and I feel it's important to bring these particular applications to his attention. I mean, must be nice. I mean, hey, you know, you got a direct contact with the president of the United States, right? You know, so I guess crime and you can do crimes so long as it's in service to the dear leader, right? I mean, he said it himself. He who saves his country commits no crime, right? So all you got to do is just be the criminal that Trump needs you to be, right? You know, you could do whatever you want. You could, say, take bribes to the tunes of tens of thousands of dollars. You could engage in insurrectionary behavior and be convicted of the actual crime of sedition. But that doesn't matter because you're under the protection of the regime. Define save. So U.S. helped to stop genocide in Poland, but how it works with Palestine, we don't care. That's the problem. We don't care. We fund it. We provide weapons for the genocide in Palestine. We don't care. I mean, we also provided weapons for the to Saudi Arabia and their genocide in Yemen. So yeah, I mean, the government is not acting in accordance with the majority of the people of the United States. Yeah, and also like international law, because it would and our regular law too, our domestic law would theoretically not or shouldn't allow us to send bombs to Israel. But you know, we just kind of look the other way, and you know. And if you go for a mayor, I vote for you, honest man, at least. Well, the truth is difficult. Our representatives are in the pockets of moneyed interests, not ours. The effort to submit new pardon applications to Martin was arranged by Tickton and pardoned January 6 rioter Trennis Evans, both now in leadership positions with conservative nonprofit American Rights Alliance. Martin shared a photo of the May 22nd meeting over Twitter on the weekend, but the names of the 11 pardon applicants have not previously been reported. In short, Trump's loves criminals and hates good people. I mean, like, yeah, like the point being is like crime, the law and order. Like, this is another illustration. Like, law and order don't apply in the way that normally it would be done, right? Like, law and order, when Trump says law and order, he just means like what I want, right? What is lawful is what I say is lawful, okay? That's it. That was after the Saudis flew a bunch of planes into the U.S. Okay, then what was your take about Russians? You mean Russia invading Ukraine? That's not good, not cool, not okay. They should probably get out of a country that is not theirs. Laws are woke. Proud Boy members Joseph Biggs, Ethan Nordine, Zachary Rell, and Dominic Pizzola are also among the members who submitted for new applications since Martin's appointment. You know, the stand back and stand by people. While Trump pardoned or dismissed cases for nearly 1,600 January 6 rioters on his first day back in office, certain prominent participants convicted of seditious conspiracy had their sentence commuted to time served, a lesser form of clemency than outright pardon. Some have continued to lobby in public lobby publicly for the commutations to be converted into pardons. While Martin made no assurances that Trump would grant pardons to the 11 applicants, Tickton said he did pledge to advance the application to the White House pardon czar, Alice Johnson, for review. Johnson, who Trump pardoned during his first term, serves a newly created position at the White House, advising the president on candidates for pardon. So, like, yeah, dude, this guy, this guy, did good, and he was one of ours, so you should pardon him. Doge has officially begun laying out some of the framework to steal the next election. Louisiana is the first state to adopt it. Yikes. Can I get a TLDR on that one? But it's Russian historical lands, but Holland Heights are just concurred. Yeah, I don't care. Putin is a dictator, and he invaded Ukraine, and that was not okay. That's simple as, really. And the war is his fault. I really appreciate the way he looked at everything carefully and wanted to make sure that he was doing his job. The Justice Department and the White House did not respond to the request for comment, and Attorney for Rhodes did not respond for comment. Dozens of Proud Boys, a far-right fascist organization known for engaging in political violence because they are fascist, were convicted on obstructing or assault charges for their actions. At least 20 members of the far-right Oathkeeper militia group, which also a fascist organization, were convicted of similar charges. An attorney for Biggs urged Trump to grant his client's latest pardon application, citing Biggs' army service. So yeah, I guess that, gives you a pass to do whatever you want. The fact that anyone named Big Balls is allowed anywhere near the government shows we're cooked. True. He earned a Purple Heart, placing his life at risk and becoming seriously injured on behalf of the United States. Attorney Norm Pattis said a commutation is wonderful, but a pardon gives him his pension back. But just one little issue here. He participated in an insurrection and was convicted, along with the rest of his little fascist buddies, of sedition. Martin had a long history of advocating for people charged in connection with the January 6th insurrection. The Missouri lawyer has spent the last 4 years raising money for the January 6th Legal Defense Fund and personally representing defendants in courts. Martin was on Capitol Hill during the insurrection and posted on social media that afternoon comparing the event to Mardi Gras. Cool. During his interim stint as chief of federal prosecutor in Washington, Martin fired dozens of prosecutors who oversaw the January 6th cases. I'm glad you said that. I hope you'll meet someone who knows and study Russian history. Best vibes. It's unprecedented to have political appointee in the position of pardon attorney, and it suggests that the administration intends to wield the clemency power differently than the presidents prior have. Led by career Justice Department officials, the Office of the Pardon Attorney reviews applications for clemency and makes recommendations to the president for candidates who have met various criteria. Presidents of both parties have gone around the pardon attorney for politically sensitive pardons. Trump granted clemency to his political advisors Paul Manafort and Roger Stone in the final days of his own term. First term, President Biden pardoned his son Hunter and other family members before leaving office. Martin has already demonstrated willingness to evaluate controversial pardon applications to the office based on the early application on his desk. No beef here, just staying on topic or getting timed out. I mean, there's no, this isn't a debate. This isn't debate on history, right? It's what's happening now. I don't give a shit. It's just that simple. The fact that Martin also has this other portfolio certainly suggests that his role is going to be one of highly political, and that he will be coming to the pardon attorney role with a political agenda, and that is very concerning. Yep. Because that's what it is, right? It's loyalty above all else. It's loyalty above all else. The only thing that matters is loyalty to the dear leader. That's it. Laws don't matter. Laws don't apply. The Justice Department is only there to serve the whims of the president. That's it. It's that simple. I find this actually really interesting because it's a perfect opportunity to kind of like illustrate what's happening. Like, the U.S. warns America not to travel to Venezuela due to risk of torture and kidnapping, which incidentally is what's happening here, right? I'm not saying that it's not happening in Venezuela, but like to be all up in arms, for something that we are doing here, it is just a little bit too on the nose, right? We want everyone not to come here for the same. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I'm going with this. Like, just to be clear, like, Venezuela is not like the place to be. And I don't dispute or doubt that something like this is happening. It's just that it's kind of rich coming from this administration, that this is the kind of stuff that you're all of a sudden very genuinely concerned about when you are doing it yourself. The attorney general is our attorney, not his. In this timeline, in this world, in this universe, yeah. Unfortunately, that's not the case. In this universe, the attorney general, the Department of Justice, the FBI, law enforcement, all should be and have a duty to be under the auspices of the president because he commands all. What? The DOJ should never be used by the president. The president should stay out of it. Well, before Trump. Yeah. In this universe, the DOJ is Trump. In this universe, the FBI is Trump. In this universe, law enforcement, the attorneys, the judges should all be Trump, by the way. That's just the way it should work in Trump world. The U.S. Department is again advising American citizens not to travel to Venezuela, warning of severe risks, including wrongful detention, kidnapping, or torture. I mean, like, if I said that, like, I mean, yeah, who do you think is also doing this? The pot calling the kettle, kind of situation. Let's say the State Department says it does not have an operating embassy and consulate in South American country and cannot provide routine or emergency consular service to U.S. citizens there. All citizens currently in Venezuela should leave immediately. The U.S. citizens are at extreme risk of detention when entering Venezuela at any location. I mean, like, yeah, that's kind of what's happening here. They may unjustly charged with terrorism or other serious crimes and detained for long periods. The same thing that is happening here. U.S. citizens have been detained upon arrival at land borders, same, airports and maritime ports of entry, same here. There's no safe way for Americans to travel to Venezuela. The State Department has been warning citizens against the travel to Venezuela for years, issuing its highest level advisory since March of 2019. More nationals are wrongfully detained in Venezuela than any other country, the department said. In some cases, detentions happen when people accidentally cross into Venezuela from neighboring countries. I mean, like, literally what's happening. Reporters may not be clearly marked. Detained Americans may also be unjustly charged with serious crimes, including terrorism. Kind of like we're doing, kind of like how we're unjustly categorizing people like Abrego Garcia as a terrorist, gang member, human trafficker, whatever. Cancel your trip to Venezuela. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying to go to Venezuela. That is not a safe place. I'm just saying that it's kind of like a demonstration of where we are here in the timeline, and the inability, for us as a country. I'm not saying us like here, but I'm saying us as a country to look in the mirror. Right? How is it that we can say that this is wrong to unlawfully detain people, right, on bogus charges, is wrong, and to advise people to be aware of this, but like we just don't have the introspection to realize that, or to see that we're doing it too, right? Or I guess to care that we're doing it too. I've also advised against remaining in the U.S. Other potential concerns in Venezuela include the arbitrary enforcement of local laws. I mean, like, which we just went over 2 examples of how the law is arbitrarily enforced here in the United States. Okay? civil unrest, and poor health infrastructure, which I would argue, again, we also have poor health infrastructure. So I just found this very, very interesting that, like, we are capable of denouncing something that is very, very much wrong, right? You should not be detaining people on false pretenses. You should not be, like, torturing people. You should not be kidnapping people. And yet we are doing that. It's just that disconnect that I feel like is probably important to kind of maintain as we traverse this fascist hellhole. Man, I'm looking forward to dinner. Me too. That wall is being built to keep us in. Yeah, walls are not just meant to be... Walls aren't just meant to keep people out. They can keep people in. It's the little things. Honestly, that's so true. I'm genuinely excited for food right now. Folks, before we go, I'm going to replay Ladder Beats Wall, the announcement that we did at the beginning of stream. Folks, if you're itching, okay, for a new progressive, left-leaning kind of media space, then you should join this space, okay? There are some heavy hitters that are going to be launching this project that is known as this space. Some of those people you may know. Benjamin Dixon, Pastor Ben, is one of those people. You may know Jeff Waldorf from previously from TYT. You may also know Matt from the Letter Hack. We have some big heavy hitters that are going to try to kick this off, and it's starting in June 10th. And I will be a part of this project to make and create and be this space, okay, where people can find progressive media, left-leaning media, and it starts June 10th, folks. So go ahead, go over to the YouTube channel, the Blue Skies, the Facebooks. It is everywhere. So I give you this space. Us YouTubers are about to raid Left Reckoning. Heck yeah. I think this thing with the migrants is a facade, and what they're actually doing is setting up a police state for if and when there's a massive revolt, depending on how bad it gets and how complacent we are. I don't doubt that is a. I don't doubt that that's a genuine thought process that's going on here. I think it'll be good for Ben to separate his church self from his political self in relation to public perception. I mean, I don't know. I think it's one and the same. It just depends, right? I give you this space.
Now the time is nearly upon us. Working class independent media, we are going to be streaming, we are going to be syndicating videos, we're going to be playing original content. It all starts June 10th. Please subscribe to that YouTube channel. Get ready to see it on other platforms, and please follow on social media. We are everywhere. Follow, subscribe. It's going to be very exciting. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A lot of people have tried this before. Every time I bring it up to somebody, they say, wow, a lot of people have tried that before. And I say, apparently, yes, I keep hearing that. But no one has pulled it off. No one has gotten it off the ground quite the way we plan to. And believe me, along the way, we've seen how people have failed. We've seen all of the pitfalls. We've seen all of the ways we go, you know what? This is a moment right now where somebody gave up. This is a moment right now where somebody couldn't go on. This right here, this situation, this is what happened to somebody else and they blew it. And we have moved past it. We have persevered. We have kept moving forward. The hope is that we will not talk about it as much as you will talk about it. The hope is that everyone will be saying, are you watching this space? Do you know about this space? Are you in this space? Are you a part of this space?
Watch this space.
There you have it, folks. Starting June 10th, folks. Starting June 10th. This is a clip from last Friday's Letter Hack show. Has he been going live in the mornings? I stopped getting notified or recommended again. I think not. I think not. Because I have not been also getting notifications. But tonight he'll be on the Vanguard. Well, there you go. Boom. There's your answer. The Vanguard killing it. Yeah, they actually did an interview with Matt not that long ago. They were on the Ladder Hacks show as well. So yeah, I mean, like the launch of this space is going to be huge. There's going to be a lot of people involved, and myself included. I'm going to be on this space. I believe the launch is on Tuesday, which I will be on that live. And as we go forward, you know, one of the stream days will be for this space. I will have a better idea of how the scheduling is going to work. But yeah, that's what we're working on, and I think that it's going to be great. It's a great idea. And I hope you join us there on this space. He has been doing morning shows. Okay, gotcha. I still have, by the way, the screenshot, okay, the digital frame, as I call it, of the Benjamin Dixon Show subscribing to this channel, okay? I'm not letting that one go. I still have the screenshot somewhere. Where is this space? Thisspace.tv on YouTube. I will pull up the link. I think we had it right here. I think he posted it. Where is it?
Now the time.
Here we go. I got you. Links are in the video description, and here is the actual thing. There you go. So it's a channel. Yep. Because I'm asleep after 4 a.m. Are you a cat? That's a fair question. That is a fair question. Yeah, you have to tell us. It's like if you're a cop, you have to tell. You have to say if you're a cop. I'm not a cat, meow. I've always been a night owl. The sun kind of sucks. I get it, but it's important. I get it's important, but I sort of hate it. I feel that. All right, folks. It's time for me to get out of here. Thank you all. I only get up because I have a kid. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the support. Thank you for the subscriptions. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you to Heat and thank you to Yellow King for the subscriptions. Appreciate it. And thank you all for being here. If you're on the YouTube, make sure you hit all the buttons. Like, share, subscribe. If you're on the Twitch, make sure you hit the follow button. It really does help us out. Thank you. And once again, folks, join us on this space. And that is going to be a project moving forward, which I'm very excited about. And again, thank you for your support. And if you want to keep supporting the channel directly, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the merch store, the tip button, the Substack. Join the Discord to keep up with the channel. I appreciate all of you guys being here. We'll be back tomorrow at around 5 p.m. Eastern time. As always, folks. And also, the more news we have as we roll out, the more I'm going to keep telling you guys. But in the meantime, keep following all the social medias, all the things on this space. Spread the word. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yes, Left Reckoning. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hassler, for modding the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all. We'll be back tomorrow around 5 p.m. Eastern. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. Vion, I hope to see you guys in the next one around tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time. See ya. All right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.